I call the Smyth County Board of Supervisors meeting to order. And if you will, everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance led by Dennis Greer, and remain standing for Jessica Davison to lead us in an invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lord, we thank you for the opportunity to gather here, for the privilege of serving our county and its citizens. We ask that you be with us and guide us so that we may serve all their needs to the best of our ability. Keep us, our families, our county, and its citizens safe, and give us a secure future. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Please be seated. It's good to see a crowd here tonight. Unfortunately, I know what a lot of you are here for, and that's not necessarily good, but it's good to see you here. And we have adoption of the agenda. I know of 3 changes we need to make in the agenda. It's on the screens. We're going to add 3B, 3C, and in closed session A7. Any other changes to the agenda? Hearing none, I'll accept the motion to accept.
So moved.
Have a motion in a couple of seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed likewise. All righty. Presentations. I'm going to go out of order. Don't want you to get used to things being in the right way, so I'm going to start with C. Our Commonwealth Attorney, Bucky Blevins, is going to come forward.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good afternoon, members of the board. It's a pleasure to always be here at the Board of Supervisors meetings, but tonight I have the distinct pleasure of recognizing one of our own. Tonight I'm recognizing Deputy Gail Greer, and I'd like Deputy Greer to please join me up front. Deputy Greer's here with his family, and one of the very first things I did when I became Commonwealth's attorney is not with the funds that the board or the county provides me, but with my own personal funds. I bought challenge coins, and on the front of the challenge coin is a picture of our beloved courthouse, and on the back is my office's vision statement. That's justice first and community always. It's got a picture of the scales of justice and the number 33 in it, and the number 33 is important because I'm the 33rd Commonwealth's attorney that this county's ever had. And so I'm awarding this coin to law enforcement officers who go above and beyond the call of duty. It's a program that I'm calling Above the Blue Line. And Deputy Greer is standing before you as a true hero in his acts that I can't talk about publicly because it's still in a case that's ongoing, but his acts earlier last month have resulted in life-saving measures. And so Deputy Greer went way above the call of duty, and it is my privilege tonight to present him this challenge coin. Can we get his family up here? That would be Carly and the girls. Thank you for the opportunity.
We say the same thing.
Here, bud.
Just act like you like each other.
There we go, perfect. Get that microphone out of the way.
Me too, hold on. Perfect, thank you.
Thank you and best wishes. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll go with the presentation now. Nicole Hare for the year-end review for the Mount Rogers Regional Partnership.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to share information regarding our organization this evening. Anna's going to assist me with advancing our slides. This will be a year-end from 22-23. I'm a little late getting here to give this to you all, but this is an abbreviated presentation that was given to the Mount Rogers Regional Partnership full board this past fall. Additionally, I've left our most recent annual report, at your seats. There we go. Again, I'm Nicole Hare. I serve as Executive Director for the Mount Rogers Regional Partnership. Our organization was formerly known as the Virginia's Industrial Advancement Alliance. Mount Rogers Regional Partnership is the regional economic development organization serving Bland, Carroll, Grayson, Smyth, and Wythe counties and the city of Galax. Our organization has several divisions shown here to support our partner localities in their economic development needs. Our mission is to support the quality of life and economic well-being of the communities we serve. Our overall, the organization goals to support this mission are centered around the collaboration with our partners, ensuring our region is easily recognized and identifiable for economic opportunities and being prepared for economic growth. Mount Rogers Regional Partnership is one of 17 regional economic development organizations in the state who work directly with the Virginia Economic Development Partnership, which we know as VEDP. VEDP contacts the regional organizations to request information for projects looking to locate in Virginia. Our team works directly with your economic development staff to submit sites or properties for Smyth County when we have prospects or interest in the communities. In FY 22-23, our region had a lot of interest overall, even with the limited number of sites and properties available in our region. These projects referred to us typically were selected to go to another state, or at times those projects were held off at that point by the company. To aid in marketing our region and availability of properties, the Mount Rogers Regional Partnership attends or hosts a variety of events. Mr. Utt and his team have participated in a number of these activities. Ms. Hayden did travel with our organization to the Hunter Hotel Investment Conference to network and connect with hospitality industry leaders looking to locate throughout the U.S. Here are our organization's goals looking into the future. Many of these are carried over to continue to further our organizational mission to serve our partner localities. Now I'm going to dive into each of the divisions within our organization and their accomplishments and goals. We do have an economic development manager, Ms. Ashlyn Shrewsbury, that assists our partner localities with special projects relating to economic development and community development. For Smyth County specifically, Ms. Shrewsbury does serve as the director of the Pathway Regional Industrial Facilities Authority. This is known as PRIFA, and with the formation of PRIFA, it has enabled us to access grant funding for infrastructure projects at Pathway Park. Additionally, this authority is in partnership with our organization, Bland County, Smyth County, and Washington County. Ms. Shrewsbury also assists with a variety of projects across the region, and they impact all of our communities, such as discussions and planning for housing initiatives and child care initiatives. She has identified a number of goals for the region. Specific for Smyth County would be the regional site study to determine future industrial sites, assisting with the marketing and future improvements for Pathway Park. Next, we have our Talent Solutions program. Our organization added a Talent Solutions division in June of 2022. This division does consist of 2 staff members who work to connect our employers with K-12 and higher education systems. The goal is to attract and retain talent by exposing students to career opportunities and the quality of life in our region. Go back one, sorry. During FY 22-23, this was our first year in operation. The Talent Solutions team met with businesses, educational institutions, and they established advisory committees to support their goals. The next several slides will highlight Talent Solutions outreach with tours, internships, and career fairs. Go ahead, next one. we stop there. Meet Mount Rogers is our summer immersion experience where we expose college students to the quality of life in our region. The students are interns with our employers throughout the region and commit to participating in this summer program. Our team incorporates a professional development component to the day, as well as an activity and a tour of a community. And so we did this over a 6-week, 7-week period, and they got to see each of the communities in our footprint. Our Talent Solutions team has identified a number of goals here for the next fiscal year and beyond. Our organization also added a full-time marketing communications manager in 2022 to further tell the story of our region to prospective industries and companies and residents. Key projects really were around completing the rebrand of Mount Rogers Regional Partnership from Virginia's Industrial Advancement Alliance and launching that new brand throughout all of our marketing materials and our website. New projects also included expanding our marketing reach with a newsletter that's emailed to our stakeholders, adding a variety of website tools to support our industries and our partners, and new promotional items with the branding on it, so when we're out marketing, it's very visible. Additionally, our organization added a summer intern last year who was our content creator documenting the Meet Mount Rogers summer experience. Mary lives in the New River Valley while attending Radford University. She was impressed by the region and all that was to do here, and she had even commented during her time with us that she would actually enjoy to come and live and work here within our region because she was unaware of the opportunities that were here, even being in the New River Valley. We do have a variety of social media channels that include Facebook, Instagram, and we do have 2 LinkedIn pages, one that's for more of our people marketing and one really that gets into our industry and business partners. So our marketing goals going forward are definitely to increase our followers on all of our social media channels, and I do invite each of you to follow us if you do not at this point. Additional goals include that further engagement with our communities, our variety of partners, including our tourism departments, and our local media. This division of business retention and expansion assists our existing companies across the region to either expand their operations and, of course, to be first to know if they're having any challenges that would influence them to leave our region. So our expansion projects include a variety throughout a region. These 2 are located in other neighboring communities. We also have examples of partnerships that we conduct throughout the region, including the most recent inland port feasibility study. And so our BRE visits are with our primary employers, and when we're visiting Smyth County employers, our team partners with Ms. Hayden and Mr. Utt and includes members from VEDP. The BRE also connects companies with business support programs and grant opportunities to, again, help maintain any expansion opportunities, or if they're looking for other opportunities to maybe market their outreach. One of these programs, our VEDP trade programs, offers a variety of opportunities for companies, and there's a list of them there that have participated in expanding their market and improving their overall operations. And key goals moving forward in our BRE is expanding educational programs to benefit wood products industry. Our offices are located at WCC, and we see a need throughout our region in this industry. Assisting our companies with increasing their internship opportunities, because we know we want to get those college students here and even our high school students into these companies, so helping them build internship programming, and then also expand our company's participation in trade shows and business support programs. Again, I invite you to follow us on social media. There is my contact information. You are always free to contact me as well, and I'm open for any questions.
Anyone have any?
Great. I look forward to coming back probably in October, November timeframe this next year when we finish our annual report and we do all of our numbers too, but I look forward to giving our next update to you all. Thank you.
I'd like to commend you on your choice of, it's not executive director, but putting him as chair. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate the presentation.
Thank you.
Chad White, gonna give you an update on why everybody's probably sitting here.
No pressure.
No pressure. None taken.
All right, my name's Chad Wyatt. Of course, I work with Pearson's Appraisal. Give y'all a quick update on where we're at. Of course, all of our field work is completed. Our sales studies are completed. The rates have been set. The notices went out the 15th at 11 a.m. Now, not all have been delivered yet. And we will extend the reassessment hearings to see people as long as it's going to take. We've been scheduling phone appointments, or in-person appointments, and over the phone. We're scheduling every 15 minutes from 9 to 5. We're answering emails as well. The final date to schedule an appointment would be March 5th, but if the mail doesn't get out in time, we're going to extend that to whatever it needs to be. Right now, we're looking at a week out. If it needs to be more than that, we'll do that also. Our land books, anybody needs to check any land or neighbors or their own, they can go to vaminet.com. Yeah, that's about it.
You said March the 5th was the deadline?
March 4th
4th, excuse me.
is the deadline, but now we are going to extend that. We're already a week out. I've got 5 properties in Broadford myself, and I've got one of them so far, so.
That would be the last day at this point to schedule it.
The 4th, but like I say, we're going to go a week further if we have to, whatever it takes to get everybody in.
Yeah, the biggest complaint I've received so far is too tight a deadline.
Too tight
I had
deadline.
2 or 3 say, well, we were going to be out of
extend it.
town for spring.
Yeah,
And
we'll
then-
extend whatever they need, whatever we want to accommodate, whatever, we'll take it as long as we have to. Whatever the law allows is what we'll go, so. Want to give everybody a fair shake.
I've also heard mention about farmland, no increase on that. Could you elaborate on that as far as what
Well,
the reason for that?
most of our farmland stayed the same. Now, I personally did not set the rates. My boss, Fred Pearson, he set the rates. He determined that through sales. Really, that's all I can elaborate on that. I don't have the gist why they didn't go up or go down.
Any other questions?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the process that was executed to determine the appraisals, did you guys actually put eyes on properties? Or
Yes,
just
yes.
do-
We've got pictures of all the homes throughout the county.
Okay, and so you visited?
Yeah. Yeah.
Fair to say all of them, or?
I would
you
say
were close to-
probably 80–90% of them were
Okay.
visited, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And can you describe for me the general process at which you arrive at the value that you do?
Well,
What all is factored into the equation, I guess is
well,
my
of course,
question.
you've got location, you've got condition, you've got age, and we've got what properties are selling for, of course. Fair market value, 100% fair market value is what we're trying to get on these things. And in a nutshell, that's it. I mean, the information that they've set forth to us is what we're taking, so.
Okay, thank you.
And unfortunately, it was high. I'll have to say, it really was. Got a lot of sales in the county. I've been doing this this is my 26th year, and I've been working in this county that long, and I've never seen this before. It's uncommon, I'll have to say. I like it. I do. I like to see growth. I really do. I like to see things happen. And it's happening.
How does this compare to other localities that you?
Well, we're currently in Dickinson County right now, and Dickinson County's looking at about 40% increase. It's probably one of the few places in the state right now you can buy a piece of property for $20,000. Russell County's getting ready to start, and I think their sales ratio is in the 80s, so they're going to have an increase. And we're looking probably around a 50% increase in Washington County. They're starting. The assessors are out in the field down there now.
And you're talking about that increase as an average, correct?
Yeah, average, yes, yeah. It'd be an average, which is pretty well in line with what we're looking at here.
You made a good point there, talked about the sales ratio being in the 80s.
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken, ours is in the mid-60s.
It is.
Can you explain what that sales ratio?
Well, what we need to do, it's a comparable price, you know, as to what properties are selling for, as to what we've got on them currently. And we're at only 60% of the market. Or 64, I think, 65. So that tells us right off the bat, we're looking at 35% there. So, I mean, I think our contract stated that we had to be anywhere from 95 to 100% of fair market value. You know, a lot of people think that it's done, that we don't do it fair market value, we don't get 100%. You know, it's always been that thing that people said it's half of what it is, but the state requires 100% fair market value, and that's what we're trying to get.
One thing that was asked of me of the people that were doing the assessments, how many people did you use? And were there people that live in this area?
Yeah,
or
we're all.
That was the thing, will people come in from out of the area,
Yeah,
they assess my property based off of Northern Virginia or someplace else, so that was.
No, it was all done local. We've got one guy, project manager, he was in Abingdon, he lives in Abingdon. Myself, I live over in Broad Ford. Cody, he lives down in Chilhowie. And then, of course, Jack Doole, he'd been doing it for 30-some years. He retired this year. He lives over in Sugar Grove. We got a guy out of Tannersville that's working. So yeah, it's all been local.
Okay.
Yeah, it has been local.
You might not want to answer this question,
Okay.
or defer on it. How much do you think under assessments in prior years might have led to this tremendous increase this year?
Well, I don't think, you know, when we get these contracts, we've got to be what the contract states, 95 to 100% fair market value. So I would imagine last time we were between 95 and 100% fair market value. This thing went crazy after COVID. I mean, it just went insane. So
Try to buy some formulas.
yeah.
Does that have a lot to do with the cost of building materials and stuff skyrocketing?
Quite a bit. Yeah, the build back cost is unbelievable. Of course, we all know that. Yeah, that figures in.
Per square foot. To build, if your house burnt down, you'd never build it back to what it was.
Lord, no. It seems like our double wides, for whatever reason, they sold higher this time. I live in one myself, and they got hit pretty hard. I will say that. Yeah. I think that was our biggest increase, was in our double wides, believe it or not. So, but everybody gets a chance. Everybody gets a chance to come in and talk to us about it. We've got an open door policy. I hate to say the burden is on the property owner, but it is. But you know, we've got an open ear. We'll listen to what anybody's got to say. As long as they tell us the truth.
The question I have is, can you quantify you referenced the build back. If the house was gone and you had to build it back, same floor plan, identical, is there a way to quantify the expense that would, or the anticipated expense to replace it as was?
Yeah, we don't do replacement costs. Yeah, it's solely based on property values, or based on what they're selling for, fair market value.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't use it as replacement cost.
Most of the time around here, people have found out that the insurance and stuff like that is less than what it would cost to actually build it back.
Seen that a lot.
If you sell for $80,000, if that house burnt down, it would cost you $120 to put it back.
I guess that's what my question was. Maybe I phrased it poorly. Is based on the rising cost of supply chain.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the wood, the brick, the concrete, whatever, everything along the line, minimum wage, whatever. How was that factored in, or was it at all?
It wasn't. It was based on sales.
Sales only. Okay.
The rate per square foot was based on sales. That's what we based it on. That's what we set the rates on.
Okay, thank you. You answered my question.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Any more questions? Thank you for
All
coming,
right,
sir.
you're welcome.
Appreciate you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I guess that answers everybody's questions on that. We finished. Public hearing now on the dangerous dog ordinance.
You want me to read the advertisement itself?
Please.
In compliance with Code of Virginia of 1950 and amendments thereto, the Smyth County Board of Supervisors will conduct a public hearing to consider amending Chapter 8, Article 5, Section section 8.132 entitled Renewal of Dangerous Dog Registration of the Smyth County Code of Ordinances to mirror Virginia State Code Article 6, section 3.2-6542.1. The Board of Supervisors will hear comments from citizens concerning the amendments to this section and the Smyth County Code of Ordinances. Public hearing shall be held on Thursday, February 22nd, 2024, beginning at 5 p.m. or soon thereafter as may be heard, in the boardroom of the Smyth County Office Building, 121 Bagley Circle, to receive comments on the proposed amendments to Article 5. The rest of the advertisement is generic, unless you want me to read it too.
No.
We do have a list, but I didn't see if anyone had signed up for that.
Okay, I will entertain a motion that we, for this particular public hearing, we waive the reading of the rules.
So moved. Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed likewise. All right, no one has signed up for the dangerous dog ordinance, so I take it everyone's got pets in here that are tame and well taken care of. Anyone wishing to comment on this?
I can give a quick little 30-second summary of why we're looking to amend our ordinance.
Sounds good to me.
Basically, the animal control officers have been using the state code for the charges and fees associated with dangerous dogs, and I think we have 2 or 3 tops in the county right now. Problem with that is you use state code references. State usually gets the fees associated. We need to update our code. Our current code requires a fee of $50 for the initial registration and nothing for renewal. State code requires $150 for initial registration and $85 for an annual renewal. We're looking to bring our ordinance into line with the state code reference. It's nothing. The only change is when we do when we prosecute or give a ticket for dangerous dog, we'll reference the county code and be able to recoup those funds rather than going to the state coffers. So it's nothing different on the citizens or the owners of the dangerous dog. They still pay the same amount because they've always been referenced under the state code. We're just looking to bring it under the county code. Probably longer than 30
If I
seconds.
remember correctly, in our committee meeting, that they said there was like 3 dogs in the county.
I think we have 3.
3 in the whole county.
And we have 1 that'll be going to court soon. So it's not a huge deal. But one thing that it did do is it brought to light, we probably need to look at all of our ordinances and compare them to how they compare to state code and, do a thorough flushing of the county code to see what else needs to be updated.
All righty, this is a public hearing. If no one wishes to speak about dangerous dogs, I'll close public hearing. Moving on, as our general rules, we do not vote on that tonight. We vote on it at our next board meeting. So moving on now, we're at minutes of the February 8th meeting.
Move to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Have a motion to approve and have seconds. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed likewise. Our minutes are approved. All righty, citizens time. Before we start citizens time, get you to read the rules.
Yes, sir. Rules for citizens time and public comments. In instances where persons address the board through the chairperson without having first been allocated a specific time on the agenda, they shall limit their remarks as follows, except in extraordinary circumstances. First, person speaking for him or herself, his or her immediate neighborhood, 3 minutes. Second, person speaking for an organization whose membership is representative of an entire district, 5 minutes. Person speaking for an organization whose membership is representative of the entire county, 10 minutes. Unless approved by a majority vote of the board, no action shall be taken by the board following the public hearing or public comment section, and the issue shall be continued until the next regular meeting.
All right, thank you very much. Do you want to read that short?
I do have a statement that I do want to start the citizen comments portion off with, if you don't mind. And you have a copy here. The statement regarding the real estate reassessment process and concerns citizens have been raising regarding those increases in home values. As many folks now know, Smyth County has been working through the reassessment process And the state code requires that the county do this reassessment at least every 6 years. Smyth County has chosen to continue with our 4-year interval. Normally, using the shorter time frame concept helps to avoid drastic changes in the property values and minimizes the tax increase burden. However, this previous assessment was conducted prior to the COVID pandemic, and as I know you're aware, things in the country have changed greatly since then. Home values have increased much higher than expected, not just locally, but regionally and nationally, with many new home buyers choosing to pay well above appraised value for homes. In doing so, this causes the market value of neighboring properties to increase, which resulted in a much higher assessments this year. The Smyth County Board of Supervisors had anticipated an increase and has partnered with our local news outlets, thank you Stephanie, for helping to get the word out early on in the process. We've also been discussing how the current rate of 74 cents per hundred, which hasn't changed since 2013, can be adjusted to lower the overall effect on the taxpayers. Please know that that as with any reassessment process, some will undoubtedly pay more than last year, some will undoubtedly pay less, and some will pay near the same. We ask that everyone keep in mind that while we've personally experienced the effects of inflation on everything we purchase in our daily lives, the county has also had those increases, electric bill, gas bill, and the like. The board will work to balance that overall need of minimizing the effect of property owners while also ensuring the financial needs of operating the county are met.
All right, thank you very much. Remember, if you're speaking, we've got the time on the clock here, so you've got, because of the number of people, you got the 3 minutes per the rules we just read. So I've got the list here in front of me. First, to lead it off will be our Sheriff Chip Schuler. I hate to say it, but name and address, please.
My name's Chip Schuler. That's what I go by anyway. My address, I'm Rye Valley Lane, 1815, but I spend more time at 819 Madison Drive than I do anywhere else. So, I hear about the property taxes, although I feel everybody's paying. I got a pretty severe chop on that myself, but I'm here just a couple minutes every time to say thank you for your support for our enhanced benefits on hazard duty. As you all are well aware, hiring has been very difficult for all law enforcement agencies throughout the state. And we've really took a hit here, and retention as well. You know, our neighboring counties around us and jurisdictions have offered like more lucrative packages for their employees, and we're catching up. So thank you for recognizing that, and I just wanted to, if I can approach, just to give each one of you a thank you from me, sir, and my staff.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
That's pretty much it for me. Anybody got any questions of me? And thanks for all you do. And you know, these are tough times for us all. So.
Thank you, and stay safe. All righty, the next one signed up for citizens' time is Joseph Guthrie.
Good evening, neighbors. I'm Dr. Joseph Guthrie, 142 Rabbit Hill Lane from the Rye Valley District. I'm a Christian, I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm also a physician. Like many of my fellow Smyth County property owners, I received notice of the tax reassessment in the mail this week. I was certainly disappointed, yet I chose to view that letter as an invitation to invest more time and interest in the workings of this Board of Supervisors and to exhort and remind my local government of the source of its limited authority to govern. In the 28th chapter of the Gospel of Matthew, the Lord Jesus Christ declares that all power and authority in heaven and earth have been given to him by God the Father. Therefore, God has ordained governments to be implemented by men with the limited authority He gives them to punish evil, reward the righteous, and make provision for the common good of the people. The governing board of Smyth County, Virginia is no different. Your only authority is borrowed and gifted from our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Therefore, this board must govern in a way that is obedient and pleasing to Him. Now the Word of God says, Solomon asked the Lord for wisdom to rule and judge righteously, and the Lord was pleased to grant his prayer such that the kingdom flourished and the people prospered. That is, until King Solomon became foolish in his heart and forgot the King of Kings from whom all authority flows. And because of government foolishness, the people were harmed and heavily burdened. Solomon's son after him, King Rehoboam, heard the complaint and outcry of the people. Instead of providing relief from their confiscatory property taxes, he made their lives worse by taxing them even more. I leave it to you to search the scriptures to learn what happened to the tax man in 2 Kings. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been working and building to provide an inheritance to my children's children, as the Bible directs us to do, while paying property taxes in Smyth County for 9 years, and have received no discernible return on my investment. And now you, as the local magistrates, have mistaken a time of homelessness and high inflation for prosperity and increase in real value. Your policies view such hardship as an opportunity to make policy like plundering pirates to punish the poor and hardworking people of Smyth County in a way that discourages productivity, business, and a healthy economy. No, friends, taxes are for the benefit of the people are not for taxes. I would call your attention to the flag and seal of the Commonwealth, which demonstrates that tyrants and their onerous taxes are not welcome in Virginia. I pray to Almighty God that you will seek the wisdom of Solomon and not the folly of Rehoboam by immediately correcting course, rectifying bad policy decisions, providing relief, repeal, or reversal, not just reduction, and devoting the remainder of your terms to promoting the welfare and prosperity of the people whom you serve by protecting, not plundering, their God-given blessings of life and liberty and property. Thank you.
How many times did you do that so you'd come out exactly 3 minutes? Thank you. Thank you very much. Next is Bill Stamper. State your name and address for the record, please.
Bill Stamper, 659 Spruce. Well, first of all, I'd just like to say thank you all for coming here and inviting us, us taxpayers. I'm not understanding how or why y'all could even make an assumption that we can afford these taxes as it is. My thoughts about it is we're being taxed from Washington, we're being taxed by everything, and now half of these people in here, if not all of them, are having to work second and third jobs just to make ends meet. You go up here to the grocery store, what? A pack of hamburgers now, what? $15, $16? Back in y'all's time, it was $3 or $4. And I'm saying that very nicely. We can't do this. This is where you, elected officials, are going to have to step up. If you can't do your job, you're going to have to get a backbone stand up for your community. These people here, y'all work for us. Y'all help us. Just like my brother right here said, y'all's job is to help us. We're not fit. It's not our job to continue to pay taxes. In 1913, that was actually implemented for 2 weeks, and the government kept going because the people didn't stand up for their rights. Taxes was never supposed to be like it is right now. And if you want to see a homeless, all right, there's how many homeless people that's in town right now? Pastor Wolf has a whole building plumb full of people out there that are homeless. If y'all don't do something about this taxes, half of these people are going to be homeless. Nobody can afford it. If y'all can afford it, I think it's time for y'all to take a cut in y'all's pay. That's all I got.
Next is Roger Bowman.
I guess y'all get to listen to this over and over. Roger Bowman, I live at 844 Edwin Drive, and when I received these papers, I found it hard to believe that you could raise the values of your stuff 67%. Now, where they're getting these numbers, I don't know. I've got one paper here that they increased mine by 15.9, and then I've got another one that's 67. Something just don't make sense when they're raising taxes like that. If you take all mine, all my totals, they ended up raising my values $247. That's unreal. Me and Becky come to Marion a few years back, and we actually have been looking to try to find something outside of town. But if they're going to do this in the county too, you know, it's not worth it. The worst part about being in town is that we're paying the town taxes and we've got to pay this right here now. That's not right. We're trying to run a business out there, A&B Printing. We're being taxed to death. Town of Marion's not offering anything. The county's not offering anything. You keep seeing all these big things on the news and stuff about, you know, the new opportunities coming. Y'all ain't doing nothing to help the ones that are here.
That's right.
Not a bit. I had no plans on coming and saying anything, but, you know, this right here is something that, you know, it's very unfair. These values are ridiculous on our land. The town's going to come in and inspect it now and see if I'm keeping it up to date, and I'm going to have to pay taxes on it. So that's all I got to say.
All right, thank you very much. Roger Bowman. That was you. Timothy McCloskey.
Good evening, all. How you doing? I'm from 1067 St. Clair's Creek up in Chilhowie. I grew up here for a long time. I moved here when I was about 13 years old. I've moved around a lot. The county hasn't changed. It's anything, it's gotten worse. It hasn't improved better. I don't know why. I have a 77% increase on a double wide that's been built since 1988 and is falling apart. My land has drainage running through it from a church that was built up the road because it wasn't properly built correctly and drained away from it. If anything, my prices should be way lower. I have floods in my yard every year because of it. Not my fault. And I know this isn't primarily y'all's fault, but I'm hearing him talking about a contract, and I'm wondering what this contract is, because apparently, and we could talk about this next time, I'll probably be back. How is this affecting our rates? If it affects our rates, isn't it somebody else's job to do something about it? Because if we're getting taxed so bad and all these people are paying for these houses, none of these people are coming from here, because none of us make this kind of damn money. Right. No business here pays us enough in this county to make this. I'm making the best money I've made in my whole life, and this is killing me. I got 2 kids that I just had, 2 under 2, and I'm probably not gonna be able to fucking afford this. My wife can't go to work, babysitting skyrocketed. Like, I can't afford to pay for my kids. What am I gonna do? Spend more time away with more jobs so I can pay for a house that I'm gonna lose anyways? Because the taxes aren't gonna go lower. And if this has to go to the state, then it's y'all's job to talk to people from our county, to go to our regions, to our state. That is your responsibility. And if you can't do it, you need to leave. Because everyone else that's coming in isn't gonna put up for it once it starts raising their stuff. Nobody's going to be able to stay here. Anybody that's been lifelong is gone. Because nobody that's been here long enough that hasn't had some kind of house built under them for generations can't afford to build one. I would love to raise my family here. I think it's beautiful here. I love the environment. I've lived everywhere around the world. I want to live here. If I can't afford it, I'll leave. What's the point? Why am I going to pay for a double wide that's worth way more than what it's worth on land in a place that's not going to take care of me? Am I going to get a pay raise at work? Probably not. I still work in the county. If everything's worth more in the county, then where's my cut? Because I can't afford it. I'll leave. Why should I stay? There's no reason for people to stay in a place that it's not going to fight for them. Everyone's trying to make businesses out in the county. Everyone talks about we're making improvements. Where? I don't see it. I see restaurants open on every corner, every 5 seconds. Right. There's no actual business being built here, and every time we do it, nobody can stay. Everyone has to leave. But I'll be here next time, and we'll talk about it some more. Y'all have a good evening.
Good job, buddy. Thank you. I believe this next one's Ralph Price. I can't read it, but I see him in the crowd, so.
I thought that was supposed to be the last one.
Come forward and state your name and address for the record.
Ralph Price, 721 Dogwood Lane, and I don't have no problem with taxes. I've made a lot of money in Marion, and I've invested a lot of money in Marion. So when my taxes come up, what got me to thinking is these people out in the county, I ain't talking about Marion, I'm talking out in the county that owns homes that has to meet the tax payment, but also they got to meet the hospital bills, the food bills, and all of the other things that the obligations, I guess is the word I should be using, the obligations of people that don't have an income. Now I've got an income, and I'm not going to tell you how old I am. I told that fellow there I was going to run for his seat, but I've decided I don't want to run. I'm tired of running. But anyway, thank y'all for listening to me. But I am worried where the country's heading. The immigrants haven't got here yet.
That's right.
I don't think they have. Nevertheless, y'all guys are going to have to put them up. You know, don't be coming over on Dogwood Lane. I don't know if I can put them up or not, but I might be able to put 10 up, but that's about it. They're coming. They are coming here to America. Marion is America. I got the chair here. They're coming to Marion. I see them on the street all the time, and I can't, unless I go up and ask them, are you an immigrant? You know, they're allowed to hit me over the head with something, but nevertheless, we got to be aware of what's going on, you know. And I know everybody's a little bit upset about taxes. I've been paying a lot of taxes for, I guess, 30 years. I've been building a lot of buildings, commercial buildings. I've been investing. And I've been very, very, very successful. Anyway, and I know y'all guys have been too. We got a doctor here that writes my prescriptions. But I got 58 seconds. I was thinking very seriously about running for your seat. Now I've already said that. I've decided not to.
I think you should.
You can't talk me into it. But do keep this in mind about the people out in the county. Most of these people out in the county can't get to town unless they have family members that can bring them in or hire a taxi or whatever. And then they have, but high taxes is really, if you can't pay them, they'll worry you to death. And high taxes brings on sickness. I used to make me sick to pay taxes. Anyway, I'm going to use up all my time. Said I had 3 minutes. Anyway, I want to make sure we got all the guys. Where's the attorney at? Is that you?
That way.
Oh, Mr. Attorney, thank you for being here and keeping these guys in order. And I ain't been here in several years, but thank y'all for listening to me. Remember the senior citizens out there in the county. That's all I got to say. Hello, everybody.
Christina Hayes.
Hello. Okay, sorry. Christina Hayes, 1341 Matson Drive. Like everyone, I'm upset about our taxes, but I think there's a disconnect between the board and the commissioner or the assessor that was here. I used to be a mortgage banker, and I turned farmer. And I'm very nervous. My voice is shaky. He kept saying sales price. Fair market value is not sales price. It's not. That's a fact. You guys even have a 12-page, and that's what I'm going based off. Your fair market value versus market price. Those will never be the same. What somebody chooses to pay for a property, the assessor cannot come up with, well, I think this property is now worth $500,000 because they built $1 million house over here. That's not fair to everybody on that block. So you guys need to, all of you sit down and see what is that definition. Market price, value price. He kept saying sales. that shouldn't increase everybody. Somebody could have owned their house for 100 years, passed it on, and not done repairs on that house, and then over here they bought that $500,000 house. These guys shouldn't have to pay because these guys came from California and said, we want to live in Smyth County.
Right.
Okay, so there's a disconnect between understanding appraisal, fair market value, and market price. And you guys really need to understand that definition. Talk to a banker, talk to your local banks to understand that. Secondly, when you raise the rates, you guys have to have a local, I feel like I'm gonna pass out over here, I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm shaking.
Settle down.
I need to sit down, I'm sorry. It basically states on here that in order to raise the rates, that the board, the governing body, has to have a meeting, a public hearing with the locals before you even put that out. You guys just sent out this letter and now everybody's here like, oh my God, what the heck happened? We are farm owners, and that's another thing on here. Ours went up about 79%. We have added barns that we built ourselves. We work where we live, and we live where we work. We're farmers. So that's, I get that you guys have land use, or the county does. They never used to charge an application fee to file your land use exemption. They're doing $20 now. I've got 3 farm properties, that's $60. So that's another thing you guys need to look into. Most of the properties that went up a lot of the properties are agriculture, AR. Based on that, those properties are exempt just from the taxes increasing. So I think everybody needs to go back and look at what the state of Virginia laws are, and thank you.
Christina Hayes.
Yes.
That was her.
I want to thank everyone. One of the members up here asked who that was. Unless you want me to give her another 3 minutes.
Go ahead,
Anybody else wishing to speak? Come forward and state your name and address for the record.
I didn't sign the paper.
That's fine. You don't have to sign, just want to give everyone a chance to comment.
My name is Tanya Bauer, and I live at 216 Church Avenue in Chilhowie, but I have 2 rental properties here in Marion. They have increased my taxes doubled, according to the paper. And I am going to bring the fact, they said they took into consideration your neighbors and so forth. The 2 houses I have are on Franklin Street. Around that area, there are several houses. I went around today and I got the house numbers of about 5 or 6 that are either you can't even live in them. The floors are showing through. And then other houses in this area are drug houses. And the police department know it. And you can drive down there and see a lady with a baby and sitting there smoking grass, I guess you want to call it, with a baby in her arms, and several gentlemen that came up to her house. They are not going to judge my property according to those houses that are running to drug people. I keep my houses up. I just paid for 3 trees to be cut down in the neighbor's yard because there's holes completely through them, and if they would blow over, it would hit my house with the 2 apartments. I have a mobile home park in Chilhowie, and I raised the rent this January for the first time in 20 years. And I am now getting $95 a month for lot rent. All right, there's several mobile home places in Chilhowie that are getting $200 a lot. The people that live in mine are low income. A lot of them are on Social Security, and I cannot really feel right raising the rent that much on elderly people. I'm an elderly person. And you've only got so much Social Security coming in, okay? And my houses that I have are low. I know that they're getting $1,200, $1,000 a month for a house or whatever. I am getting no way near that. I used to have trailers, and I finally just, if I had people that were good tenants and whatever, I scrapped the trailer out to them if they wanted to go and do any repairs, but I will guarantee most of them was very slight. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak? This is your chance.
Yeah, okay,
Name and
ours went up,
Name and
57,
address, please.
Patricia Wyatt, 728 Lincoln Avenue, Marion. Their property went up 57% this year. I think that's ridiculous. I mean, how can people pay 57% more? We'll have to 20% and then next year maybe go up, you know? But this is a big hit right off the bat, 57%. Now, can we fight that?
Yes. Read the information you got from Commissioner Rep.
And that's when we go,
I was going to, there's a process, and I can explain when we get to the end of the citizen comments, but there is a process, absolutely.
senior citizen discount. You wanna talk? No? Ann?
I want to talk.
Thank you.
I'm Ann Steele. I live at 720 Lincoln Avenue. I was born here, and my husband and I, he retired, and we moved back here to be with my parents to help them. And we bought our home 2 years ago. We're one of those people that overpaid for a home. The market was high when we got here, but there was nothing reasonable to buy in this area unless you wanted to buy a piece of land and build a home, and building materials during COVID were, you couldn't get them if you could find them. So, but ours went up 67%. Now, I know we pay a lot more taxes here because we live in town, and I don't mind it because we're close to everything, what we do have. But that is just asinine amount to go up. I understand that we have to increase because everything does go up. Wages don't go up fast enough, of course, but everything else does. But like extra $50 or $100, you know, every 3 or 4 years, if you got that from everybody, that should be. And I know we get money into the in Marion here because Youngkin and I are on emailing, and I know that money comes into here for different things. There's no need to go up on us that much. Right. The majority of our neighbors where we live, like them, they're retirees. I still work. My husband's retired, but I have to work because I can't afford to live off his retirement. So I have to work full time. I work with healthcare in the community, which, you know, that can be a job in itself. It's a very stressful environment, and we have a lot of, you know, sick people in our community. And I don't know how they're going to make ends meet. The ones that are living in homes now that are, some are deplorable. I know Smyth County is supposed to have a cleanup thing. I hadn't seen much of that going on the last couple of years. Y'all started and then that dropped off. But something needs to be done. Y'all have to stand up for the people in your community. And I know our area is trying to grow. Y'all brought good downtown businesses, and I do shop local. We try. But remember, more money that comes out of our pocket that live here, those downtown businesses are going to suffer because your seasonal people are only here in summertime. Right. We live here all year round. We put money into local businesses all year round. That's only a couple of months you're going to get business. And I know because I came from Florida, and I know how that works. So, like I said, if you tax us more, we can't make ends meet, guess what? Money doesn't go back into the community because we're paying it to taxes. So I just want y'all to think about that because I think it's very unfair. And we thought coming here would be cheaper to live than Florida, but to be honest, you know, raising all these rates, we're going to be right back paying what we were down there on ocean front property. That's right. Yep. So I don't know. And Marion only has Walmart. Can we get another store in this town? I have to drive to Abington. I got to go to Whitfield. Got to go to Bristol. We ain't growing that much.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak? come forward and state your name and address.
How's everyone tonight? Name's Steve Ruth, 516 Pearl Avenue, Marion, Virginia. And if any of you is familiar with Pearl Avenue, I don't see anybody that would be familiar with it here. Mr. Ratliff, Mr. Billings. That's kind of a low-class neighborhood, gentlemen. And I think I'm the only one on the street that had a job. And I'm retired now, and I don't understand how the property value could go up in that type neighborhood that I live in as high as it did, when everybody else in town thinks it's the lowest class neighborhood, thugs, crackheads, drug heads, what have you. You know, they're my neighbors, and I've lived there 64 years, and I opt to stay there, which I could move, but I was there before they was there. And I think I'm gonna stay there, you know. And I just don't understand how the taxes could go up that tremendously in that neighborhood. Now, if I was in Wazona Park, I would agree with you. But over there where I live, you can ask anybody, or you can drive up through there. As I look around, I only see the people here that I worked with for years that have jobs and stuff, you know, and hardworking people, honest. And is there any reason to try to fight it? I mean, you reckon it'll do any good? You know,
I think it will.
I don't mind paying just like the next man, but back when I was a kid, Pearl Avenue was a pretty nice neighborhood, fair, not nice, but everybody kept their yards mowed and trimmed and groomed, and everybody had a job and was responsible. But now, that's all you got is like slumlords. The old folks has died out, and I'm on my way out too, but the older folks, when I was a kid, is gone, and they did take care of their property. But what you got now is people that will rent to anybody that don't live up there, and they don't give a hoot what they do all night long, you know. I gotta get up and go to work. I've spent 25 years at General Dynamics. I can't be kept up all night long. So I had to buy the house next to me to keep a crackhead, a slumlord, from buying it and letting who knows who live in it to keep me up all night, so I couldn't go to work. So, you know, I just like to see something done about the taxes. I mean, there's a point that, you know, we're all here from Marion, you know, low-key kind of people, easygoing, I like to think. But I just hope that we can do something about it, and, you know, in a friendly way. That's the way I want to do it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate the comments. Yes, sir. Appreciate everyone's comments. Anyone else wishing to speak? Here's your chance. Now, as someone said, I believe Ms. Hayes commented earlier, there will be, the tax rate has not been set. So the top line of that appraisal, the tax rate there, I can guarantee you is not what you're gonna pay in taxes. It's gonna be less than that. Don't know how much, but that's the worst case scenario. And I'm gonna close the public hearing, and then when we do get around to setting the tax rate, we will have another public hearing just for the tax rate. There's 3 or 4 that we have to have, one for the budget, one for the tax rate, and a couple other things. It's a procedural thing, but I'm gonna let our county administrator make a few comments now.
Yeah, I just want to kind of reiterate what our chairman was saying. So when I saw the draft of the letters and saw the numbers, and especially my personal one, which was even higher than what was out here, my first conversation with the assessor was, can't we change the language of this letter, because this is going to rile a lot of folks up. This is going to scare a lot of folks, because they're going to think we're going to be charging a lot more taxes. State code has basically a format that they have to go out to notify individuals of their properties and their tax rates. If the tax rate remained the same, this is how much you theoretically would have to pay. We are also required to identify or define or calculate what's called an equalized rate. So the equalized rate for that 74-cent tax rate that we have now. For instance, if everything calculated that, where 40% high and the equalized rate was 50 cents. Well, that would be basically, it's not going to be 50 cents,
Right.
but just for instance, that's what the new rate would be. It would not be the 74 cents, and I just want folks to understand that. However, there's a phone number on there, on your notices, and I would strongly encourage you to call that phone number and set a 15-minute conversation up, because a lot of the times when you go talk to the assessors and give you the reasons what, in Pearl Avenue and your neighborhood, or the flooding, the church flooding, those are good reasons to document potential decreases in assessment. I can't guarantee it's going to happen, but I will guarantee it won't happen if you don't try.
And it won't go up.
Yeah, they're not going to increase it, but I would strongly encourage everybody that's in here and all your neighbors, everybody you talk to, call that phone number and take the time, if you don't agree with it, and talk to the folks that are doing it, and to understand that 74 cents is not going to be the rate that's the final voted on number.
We just want to guarantee that y'all are here for us.
That's right. You all are representing us. You all need to do it first, and then we follow suit.
We can't do it without y'all, and y'all have to go first.
But we're trying, we don't want to get into this now, but our cost to operate the county, public safety, the sheriff's office, the schools, the convenience stations. If everybody wants to start hauling their trash down to the landfill, we pay, other than the schools, that's our most expensive cost. That we have to haul your trash all the way to Bluntville. So, sometimes we have to pick the trash up alongside the mountain road where everybody decided, well, I don't want to take it to the convenience station, I'm going to dump it out here. That costs you money. And used to be you could get that done with prisoners. Well, the state's changed their mind on that now. It's very hard for us to get prisoners to pick up the trash. So now we have to pay, and our good state right now is saying minimum wage is $13.50.
Going to 20.
Yeah, so we gotta pay minimum wage. We don't want to raise taxes. The rest, we are all, I think every one of us owns property in Smyth County. We pay taxes too. And I heard on today's TV show, and this astonished me. I'm living on Social Security and selling a few cows. So I don't have a lot of money to pay taxes, but I heard on TV today that the middle class starts at $120,000. How many people in Smyth County make $120,000? It's sad. But that still doesn't mean we have to raise tax rates. We just have to have our tax dollars to pay for the bare necessities that we need to operate the county. And you would not be happy with no law enforcement. You would not be happy without the trash. You would not be happy with, I would say schools, but a lot of people say, well, I don't have any kids in school. Why do I have to support it? Well, we've always supported the schools. I don't know how to answer that question. But we do not plan on gouging, having to raise taxes any more than necessary. Having said that, I believe a couple other supervisors want to make a comment. Courtney?
Yes, I just wanted to make everyone aware, the assessor that was here, he had brought up the Vaymonet. I don't know if anybody's had a chance to look at that. If you are deciding to go and appeal your assessment with the assessors, it's always a good idea to check that. And just from experience in previous years, I had to go and appeal one of mine because they had twice the amount of square footage it was actually on my home, which drastically increased my assessment. But you can go on this website. It's VAMANET.
It's on the paper now.
Okay, yeah. So I would just suggest, if you can, look at that before you go to the assessors, so you've got all the information ready.
In case they got something wrong.
Right, because I can tell you, it's not always right, and I can tell you that from experience. So that's all I have.
Anyone else wishing to comment?
Yeah, I'm just like to say, we're all in this together. We pay taxes just like you do. My taxes last year were a little over $3,000, and it's over $4,000 now. And I'm in the same boat you are. I feel for you. I'm retired from Social Security, but you can't run the county with nothing. Money's not falling from the sky. And we live in a good area which is virtually free of criminals and stuff, which is bad criminals like New York's got and stuff like that. I mean, I'd rather live with not a penny in my pocket than a pocket full of money there, you know, which I grew up that way, so it don't matter. But we all together, you know, so we're trying the best we can to do what we can. These deputies and stuff all do good work, rescue squads, you got all of that. Those people can't work for nothing. I mean, somebody's gotta pay them.
So if this ain't set in stone, who sets it in stone? Who is the person we need to talk to? If you guys can't do it for us, who do we need to talk to?
Absolutely. It'll have to go before the whole board, you know, to figure out what we do the least way we can do it.
It is a process, so we can't do anything about the assessed value itself. That's the assessors, that's where I'm saying, you know, have that conversation with those folks. What we can do is, what we can work on is the rate that itself, lowering that rate. So the first step is finalizing that value, that assessed value. Then they'll tell us what that overall assessed value is. We calculate that equalized rate and we figure out what the overall tax rate needs to be. But the first step is that assessed value. I don't hazard a guess that we'll even be thinking about what the actual equalized rate will be until April or May. Usually it's a 90-day process because there's some court proceedings potential and people really take it all the way, and they should, you know, that's your right. But the first step of the process is figuring out that reassessment value itself.
With all due respect, he said that he pays taxes and y'all pay taxes. Our taxes pay y'all. We'll see how much y'all stand up for the community.
I've let this get a little informal here tonight because I think y'all need a right to say what you need to say. I think we had some good comments. I don't remember who said it, the comment about we've been blessed that we do not have the illegals coming into the county yet. Just think we got one busload in here,
We got 3 bus loads the other day when they drove through.
Well, you know, they went through, thank goodness. But what happens if one of them stops here? You know, we have public safety, we have other needs we'd have to step forward with. You think your tax dollars is bad now, just think if we had to start funding some of that. So keep it, and we're trying to keep it to a minimum. I'll be honest, go back and read your letter and do what it says. If you think the rate is absolutely not correct, at least call and talk to them. That way you can say, I at least talked to them. And in the past, it's been successful. People say, I didn't think I'd do it. You're going to be talking to people just like yourselves. And they have common sense, so talk to them if you have a problem. Yes, sir.
Who makes that determination to pay for illegals? They've been calling migrants all along, they're illegals, they need to be shipped out.
Yep.
That's far above us.
That's far above us.
Put the right president in there and you won't have that problem.
Exactly. All righty, folks, let's not get out of line now. I'm gonna close public, excuse me, one more.
I just wanna say, please, and I heard Timmy back there talk about, and I agree with you, if those, like double wides, he mentioned it, and I don't understand why that went the way it went, as far as why they increased so much in value. That doesn't, I don't understand that. So please call and go, and I think if you tell like what you told, I think that value's gotta come back down. And like I said, our board, we've already talked about it, we're gonna move the tax rate back as far as we can and make the budget work. So it will, it's not gonna be at 74 cents. So we're gonna do our best to make it where it's, hopefully it's not very little change at all. Okay? So, question.
1 year, they assessed some property that we owned, and it went way up, and I took pictures in and showed them. I said, every time it rains hard here in North Holston, this entire piece of property floods, and they didn't realize that. So having the picture might help too, just to prove that what you're saying is correct.
Thank you, and like I said, I think that would, anytime you've got pictures, great evidence, things to take with you, I think that'll more make your case and hopefully get it to where it should be and not where they think it is. Does that make sense? So, thank you all for coming. We appreciate your input, and it will definitely be taken into consideration on everything that we do. And we'll do the very best we can for you all, because we're sitting up here in the same boat that you are when it comes to paying our taxes and things like that, so. I think Smyth County's a great place to live, and I wanna keep it that way, 100% of the time. And, I don't plan on going anywhere, born here and raised here and hope to stay here, so, I think it's a pretty special place. And thank you all for being here tonight.
All right. One more minute, if you don't mind.
Okay.
You can also apply to the Commissioner of Revenue. You guys, or women, whoever, on disability or disabled veteran can get tax breaks. You're the Commissioner of Revenue. Just call him, if you're in that position, call. He can tell you over the phone whether you're eligible or not. What's it gonna hurt? I mean, you may come out ahead on it, you may not, but it's tax breaks through the Commissioner of Revenue.
All right.
I'd like to say something too, if you don't mind. Just, I guess I'm sure all of you are aware of how much higher everything is, and I'll just give you a couple examples. My daughter, they bought a house probably less than 5 years ago. I don't know. Let's just say 5 years ago. Awesome starter house, they paid $80,000 for. Great place. So, flash forward and a lot of prayers and such, it would have been her great grandmother's house comes up for sale, which the people that owns it bought it probably less than 5 years ago. They paid I think it's $130,000 for the house. So my daughter prays and prays that she can get that house, but the only way she can get that house, the only way she can afford it, is to sell her house. Her house, as I said, she paid $80,000 for. Her house sold for $160,000. In that length of time, the value went up that much. Praise the Lord, she got that much money, but the house that she's buying, the people paid $130,000 for it. Now she's having to pay $260,000 for that house. So we gotta understand that the price of everything is just outrageous. Less than 10 years ago, 1,000 square foot house, you could buy them all day long between $80,000 and $100,000. Now they're $220,000 to $265,000. So it's like everything else, everything has went up. But the final and true thing that we have to realize, our taxes went up. The value of my house went up like $80-some thousand. I work 2 jobs, my wife works a job. That's the only way we can make it. It ain't like that we're exempt from all this and everything. We're having to pay it just like you all are. But we gotta realize that, the price of everything has went up. The biggest thing is that paper that you got, like they said, that is not the tax you're gonna have to pay. And I'm glad, because we got that paper too, and ours was outrageous. We're gonna do everything we can to lighten that burden on everybody, because at the end of the day, it's us paying it too. Okay. And we are here for each and every one of you. So, that's all I got.
All right, thank you. We're gonna take a short, about a 5-minute recess, and then we'll come back and get into the rest of the agenda.
Second Thursday.